that they're doing right now. Some of the funding that they're putting out there, some of the ways that those It's 5 things that the Democratic Party could be doing. First, they could vote not to fund the government and try to push the Republicans to change some things that they're doing right now. Some of the funding that they're putting out there, some of the ways that Doge is running around acting, they could try to use the little bit of leverage that they have in order to change the way Republicans are running the government.
All right, what's number 2?
They need to draft their own version of Project 2025. That will show people that the Democrats can get on the same page intellectually and from a policy perspective, that them actually being able to come together and craft a vision of America that is oriented around working people and the betterment of their lives has never been more important. Okay, number 3. Grassroots civic engagement aimed at reorienting not just information and education in their constituencies, but relearning how to communicate with the American people. If they just talked to the American people like they talk to me.
How do they talk to you? How do they talk to you?
Like they're people. Yo, Van, what's up? Like they talk like they're people. And then they get on Meet the Press and you have to remember, I'm the son of a small factory worker from Boise, Idaho. I know what it's like to wake up in the morning and I know what it's like to have to take that extra bus to school. I know what it's like. They don't want to hear about you. They want to hear about them.
4.
Number 4, invest into left-leaning media. Convince left-leaning celebrities and cultural figures, the same people that you use to raise money, use them to raise culture. Raising money is one thing. What the right has done is they've raised a lot of cultural currency by having the sphere online that they've had. Last one, you got to play some away games. You have to go places that'll be uncomfortable to go to. You have to have conversations on these platforms where people don't want to talk to you. Like I see other people outside of the left establishment do this all the time. And whenever they go there, they win. I see these people go on Patrick Bet-David. I see them go on Tim Pool. I see them go on the Jubilee and talk to the 20 Trump supporters. And whenever they do it, what the Dean Withers and all of these people, I see them talk to these people. Mark Lamont Hill, I see him debate these people all the time. And their ideas are just better. However, you never see it in the mainstream. Shit, I see it on Meet the Press, where Lutnick goes on Meet the Press or Kristi Noem goes on Meet the Press. And these are, they're being interviewed by legacy media. And when they go on there, I've seen Lutnick look crazy on Fox News, the Commerce Secretary look crazy on Fox News. So I'm saying you cannot sit on the football. I have got to see these people talk to people who disagree with them, who don't like what it is that they're talking about. And they have to be able to show the American people to diagnose the crazy. You kind of have to excise it in a real way. And I think that the whole conversation about who it is that you platform or who it is that you talk to or what needs to be thrown in the back of it just didn't work. It's 5 things that the Democrats.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Wednesday. It's a big Wednesday on Let It Be Known and in the day of the Black Press. Good morning, Niele.
Good morning, Stacey. Good.
Niele got the golden light. She got, what is that? The golden hour over there. It looked like the golden hour over there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm on your side of the coast. You know, I'm on the East Coast this morning.
All right. The East, not the least.
Okay. The sun rises in the east and it sets in the west.
Oh, shucks. Here we go with some lessons going on. First of all, I mean, a lot going on, a lot going on. Van Latham saying some stuff there. Some of that stuff we're going to talk about, especially with he's saying how the uh, Democrats can make, they have a little bit leverage. We're going to talk about that a little bit because be prepared if you're expecting them to use any of that leverage. Be prepared to be disappointed.
Woo!
Yeah, exactly. And I'm gonna tell you why. Want to say good morning again to the Facing History School in New York, whose mission is to graduate students who, A, lifelong learners with the skills and knowledge for academic and professional success, and B, prepared for the responsibilities of being active, thoughtful participants and leaders in a democratic society. Good morning, and Mrs. Jones
What's the
and
grades of the
algebra,
school?
trigonometry, and
What's the
geometry
grade?
over there. Keep doing what
Is
y'all doing and do have you guys aboard.
Stacy, is it elementary school, middle school, high school?
It's a high school. High
Okay.
school.
Okay. Okay, so our
Yes, high
streamers, there's a
school.
lot of streamers in that school. They like
Uh-oh.
the
Am I
kites
losing
and
you over here?
I said it's a lot of streamers then, a lot of streamer lovers, the
You keep
kites and
freezing
knives.
up, Niel. What's going on? You in our side of the country now. You should freeze up.
I'm freezing up. You're freezing up for me. I don't know which one it is. Greer, let us know. Is it me? Is it
uh,
Stacy?
uh, oh
Oh, it's
shoot.
Stacy.
It's a
It's
it's a
you.
cold. We all freezing.
It's you.
Well, yeah, it's yeah. I caught the dreamers part. I caught the Kaisenet part.
The Talils, the Zoe Spencers, they like the
I'm the
streamers in high
freezer.
school. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, we got Stacy
Okay.
freezing
Well,
up on
there
us.
you go. So, yeah, I don't know what's happening. You
Okay,
got
well,
me?
let's just keep it going. We're talking about the high schools.
Uh,
And
uh,
speaking of high school, let's talk about what's happening at the Department of Education. We just saw that video of what is it? Is it still WWE? I think it's
yeah.
still wrestling, right? And that woman is now the Secretary of Department of Education. Are you better, Stacy?
I don't know.
Yeah, I see. Well, in it, of course, we get the memo last night. The news starts breaking that they're slashing the Department of Education and all of those jobs just out the window. I start thinking about, well, I hope that before they left, they canceled the rest of the student loans.
No, they are totally against that.
No, I'm talking about the employees. I hope they
Oh,
push the
oh
button.
yeah, yeah. Push the button, right?
Push the button.
Oh man, that would be classic. That'd be history making. 2,100. They have like 42, a little over 4,200 employees in total. 2,100 were fired yesterday, half of the staff. And then they are closing. They said they're closing the building in Washington. And we saw the little video clip before the show with the WWE. This is our education secretary.
Yeah.
It's
It's
such a
just
joke.
it's a joke, but it also I'm just thinking about as I was in the Uber coming here and I was looking at all the federal buildings and I was just thinking about Donald Trump and Elon Musk are going to try to sell off a lot of these buildings.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, And that includes that building right there. Austin says everything is my fault, so we gotta ignore Austin this morning. I can see he hasn't had his cereal yet, so we gotta leave him alone. But yeah, so this is their plan. This is their plan is to continue to. How is this? How is this helping the economy? How is it helping the economy?
But what I'm trying to figure out what the plan. So the plan is to go to private charter schools and we have no more public schools. Is that what they're trying to erase public schooling and
Well,
make it choice?
Well, ultimately, that's probably going to be something that is factual, that you're not going to have a choice. But let's face it, keeping it all, as they say, all the way on 100. What do you what do you call it when they take away all the jobs, the economy totally tanks? They take away Medicare, they take away health care, they take away education. What does that sound like to you?
What does this sound like to me?
Yes, take away SNAP, take away public assistance, take away Medicaid, Medicare, healthcare, jobs, and education. What does that
Slavery,
sound like?
almost damn near close to slavery.
Ain't no close to. This is the ultimate goal, folks. And you were warned about this with Project
Wait a minute,
2025.
stop, pause, pause. You're saying that they're trying to take us back to slavery?
1000%.
Oh, wow.
And here's the thing. We keep it keeps being right in our faces, right? And the thing about it is, when you don't have any means of income, when you're not being educated, no public assistance, what they want you, Trump wants you, Project 2025 wants you to rely upon them. Do as I say. And
Mhm.
you seeing it on a some scale with folks that he's been pardoning, like Eric Adams capitulating, folks capitulating, or they are Marco Rubio is a great example. I mean, he sits there like a stone nut. He's
He
like,
looks so unhappy.
extreme, because he's a slave.
If there was an expression for what unhappy means, it would be Mark Rubio. Marco
He's a
Rubio.
slave to this man. Lindsey Graham can't get out of he can't Lindsey Graham can't even put two sentences together without you seeing the fear of him saying something wrong about Trump. That's slavery.
Segregation, what is that? Academies across the South are getting millions in taxpayer dollars. Yep. I mean, it's all beneficial for Trump and his clan. I saw that they're going to start opening up more of these privatized prisons that were shut down, that were once housed and owned by Geo and Core Civic, and so
Yeah.
those are going to be start opening. And it's not just the prison, so that means that Airmark is going to get some more contracts. Like, all of these corporations are going to start getting contracts on the backs of people of color.
Yeah, we talked about this a few months ago. And think about it. Let's see, Angela Conley says they're trying to erase brown people from the whole school system. Brown people will have to depend on the man. It's not happening for some of us. I've always lived off the land. And that's the other thing, right? But he has signed edicts to say, and you can't, people who work in that administration can't use the words black, African
Correct.
American, DE and I. They can't say gay. They can't say,
Systemic, can't say systemic anymore.
systemic
Diversity,
anymore. Right,
equity, equality. All of these words are being erased from the government. You can't use them
right,
anymore.
right. And they don't want you to know. Taboo is, talking about anything to do with civil rights or the civil rights movement, Jim Crow, et cetera, et cetera. They don't want you to talk about any of that. They're erasing books left and right in history. They're trying to erase history, but that is up to that part, though, is up to us, whether or not we want to continue that, to keep that history alive, though.
Right, but you know what's coming next? It will be very interesting to see when they get to the statues, because remember, we took down all the Confederate statues. So now I'm interested to see, are they going to go after the new John Lewis statue? Are they going to go after the Emmett Till
MLK.
statue? MLK, Harriet Tubman, all these different expressions of Black history that have rise since 2020. What are they going to do to those statues now? Because they're pissed about the Confederate Robert E. Lee statues coming down.
Isn't that something?
And look at all the
And
money.
and Trump, and look, what's wrong with breastfeed people, breastfeed person? What's wrong
Gender
with that?
gender identity. They're coming after the queer community. I
Yeah.
mean, big time, big time.
What's wrong with the word disability?
Women and underrepresented,
Women? Isn't that
inclusion. They don't want
wait,
inclusion.
wait. That's pregnant people. They what's what this shows you just how off the chain is it?
Historically, so how do they identify an HBCU? How are they going to identify HBCUs if they're taken away historically?
Well, once again,
Pronoun.
privileges, race.
I don't know why they're getting rid of prostitutes. Republicans love prostitutes.
Uh-oh.
They love them.
Well, see, these are the things that and don't be misled. There are many Republicans who are gay who participate in gay lifestyle activities. Um
You mentioned one of them earlier, allegedly.
oh, I did? Who?
He's a senator. Come on, you
Oh,
mentioned
okay.
senator,
Okay. Okay. Well, there
allegedly.
you go. Yeah, there you go. I know exactly who you're talking about. Yep.
Word on the
And
street. And it's
yeah,
nothing
yeah.
wrong with it. It's nothing wrong with it, sir.
Yep. Yep. So, and they've already, as Mike V points out, renaming the military bases back to Fort Bragg. That was something that Trump said a long time ago too. That he was against. You mentioned the Confederate statues. He's against taking them down and the renamings. So he will reinstate them for sure.
But that's what's interesting to me, because if you want to do that, then okay, you want to maintain the whole story of American history. So if you want to maintain that part of the history, why are you trying to erase the contributions of Black people? Because it's all American history. Okay, you want to keep your General Lee, you want to keep your Confederate General Lee? Let's do it. But let's also tell the whole story of the American experience. And you cannot tell about the American experience if there's no Black in it, period. There is no
Well,
American history without Black history.
well, they're trying to prove us wrong on that. I mean, you're 100% right, but they're gonna go out of their way to prove us wrong, or to try and prove us wrong, or to create a situation where people, enough people start to think we're wrong. But
Yeah. And
it's pathetic.
it is pathetic. And you brought up like all the terms for the queer community, LGBT. And then what happened yesterday on the Hill? I think it was yesterday on the Hill with Keith Self, the 71-year-old who called who called Congress member Sarah McBride. He called her sir.
Sir. Yeah.
Now she's transgender. And she called, no, he said, and she turned around and said, okay, Madam Chair. Okay. And then Bill Keaton slammed the table like, we are not going to do this.
Yeah.
You're
Yep.
going to address her properly. And he adjourned the meeting. 71-year-old Keith Self adjourned the meeting because he didn't want to acknowledge Sarah McBride as a woman.
That is so hateful. What does her being a transgender have to do with you? Right? How does that affect your life? How does that affect anything about you? You serve on the same body as she does. If she chose, people have rights, and so that's the thing that they're going after is rights.
Right.
If that's what she wanted to do, then that's her choice.
Right. It's her choice. Now, there are a lot of things like I'm not a big pronoun person.
Right.
I'm not a big pronoun person. We get, like I'm saying, there are compromises to be made. We don't want to
Well,
identify pronouns and put them in our signatures. That's fine.
yeah,
We get
yeah,
rid of that. That's
yeah.
fine. But if somebody in their soul identifies otherwise how they were born And they go through all of the surgery. They go through all. No, a lot of people say they don't choose to be gay or lesbian. It's they're born with this identity. A lot of people feel that way. So who are you? Who are you to be disrespectful like that? Because I'm sure he probably has family members that are a part of the queer community.
Well, they never think past that. That you're right. You're right. Um, whether you subscribe to the theory that somebody's born that way or not, it's still something that they are doing or living or however you want to couch it. And once again, I say, how is that affecting you?
Right.
It's not affecting you. Now,
I'm
like you said, the pronoun thing is it's maybe there's a room for compromise there. I tell you, and I'm gonna say it with all due respect, I have a hard time with referring to an individual as a they or a them.
right.
And
That
I've
I
had
now recognize the
yeah,
representative from Delaware, Mr. McBride.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ranking Member Keating, also
there it is.
wonderful.
Mr.
I'm
Chairman?
sorry.
There it is.
right.
It's
I think
horrible.
I think it's you know what? I think that they and them is being greedy. Pick one. They and them is being greedy. Pick one.
Yeah, because it's and I know there's an argument with the people are making arguments with this, which I think makes it convoluted. You could only be one or the other, right? Male or female? Am I right?
Yeah, I think it's
Recognize
being
the
greedy.
representative
So
from
that's what
Delaware,
I'm
Mr.
saying.
McBride.
There is compromise. Like I believe
Thank
in
you, Madam Chair.
immigration.
Ranking Member Keating, also wonderful.
Mr.
I'm
Chairman?
sorry.
Could you repeat your introduction again, please?
Yes, we have set the
Representative.
standard on the floor of the House, and I'm simply
What is that standard, Mr. Chairman?
the
Would you
standard.
repeat what you just said when
I-
you introduced a duly elected representative from the United States of America? Please.
I will. The representative from Delaware, Mr. McBride.
Mr. Chairman, you are out of order. Mr. Chairman, have you no decency? I
We
mean,
will-
I've come to know you a little bit, but this is not decent.
We will continue this.
You
hearing.
will not continue it with me unless you introduce a duly elected representative the right way.
This hearing is adjourned.
Okay. He was like, I'm not doing it, so we could just end this right here. Stick a pin in it.
That's just that is the height of stupidity. It's the height of stupidity. And these are folks that are paid to do stuff like that. They're paid a government salary. These are the people they should be fired. If obviously they're elected officials, you can't just fire them unless you're in Florida. so
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. And then also Texas lawmakers are presenting a bill that if you identify as transgenders, that it could be a felon.
Yes, how about that?
Yeah. Yeah.
A felon. Who again? Where's the crime? Who's
Right.
the crime against? You don't have better things to do than sit down to craft a law so ridiculous as that?
How people identify themselves. Now, I will say, I do think the sports debate, I'm totally in agreement with. I don't think that if you were born a man and you're now a woman, transgender, I don't think that it's fair that you should be able to compete in women's sports. I just think that you were born with the physicality that is male. You're stronger physically, and so you shouldn't be able to compete, and vice versa. Like I can entertain that debate, just like immigration reform. I believe that there should be immigration reform, but I think that the way they're doing it is from a hateful space, just like the way that they are treating the queer community. It is from a hateful space.
Yeah, I mentioned when we was talking beforehand, Caitlyn Jenner. It would, like, for instance, as Bruce Jenner, Olympic champion.
Right.
So would that be right to now compete as a woman,
No.
against
I don't
women?
agree I don't.
So,
No. Mm-mm. And I
I mean,
don't
some
agree
can
that
make
she
that
should have
argument.
got
Yeah.
that award, Woman of the Year, at the ESPY Awards when I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
It's unfair. It's too many.
One of the main reasons I don't agree with that, among the obvious reasons, but one of the main reasons is simply because it was just one of those things where it was done for attention. It was done because it was going to get ratings. That's why we talked yesterday about the NAACP Image Awards and BET Awards. Stop giving awards to people who don't necessarily deserve them just for ratings.
Right.
That's the other. That's why you don't get so much. That's another reason why you don't get many people watching award shows anyway.
Mhm.
It's just the ratings have tanked, and rightfully so. I don't know the last time I watched a full Grammy Awards must have been in like the 80s.
Mm.
Or
Yeah.
American Music. Does that even still exist? The American Music Awards. You wonder. I think they do it like early in like early in the fall now instead of like it used to
Yeah.
be January American Music Awards, February Grammys, and Oscar comes after that. But huh. Mike V says the trans debate was never a conversation for Black folks. We were focused on trying to defend our common humanity. That was the purpose of Black Lives Matter. Danielle Pierre made a great comment about that video with McBride and that chairman there. She says, if we all stood up like that for others, what a difference that would make.
Yeah. But I think also we started the show with Van, and I think the conversations that we're speaking about, they're cultural conversations, and Democrats do a bad job at just being involved in cultural conversations, but not going too far to the left. Because at the end of the day, most Black folks are really conservative. So I think the whole term conservative belonging to Republicans is a disservice to
Yeah, like
Democrats.
everything, they hijack it,
Mhm.
but you're right. And speaking of Van, and I was going to tell you about these Democrats. So the House yesterday passed a continuing resolution with one Democrat voted in favor and one Republican against it. It gets more interesting as it goes to the Senate, where it needs 8 Democratic votes. Now they already have Senator John Fetterman of Pennsylvania, who had the audacity to say he's not going to quote burn the government village down because he disagrees with the bill. So in other words, he's going to go along with the bill. He's not going to because he disagrees. He's not going to burn down. Where are you living? What type of they have been crashing and burning from day one. It's just an excuse to go along with what you really believe. Fetterman is Joe Manchin all over again. You thought you was gonna get a reprieve with Manchin leaving? No, you got another Joe Manchin, and this time out of Pennsylvania.
Do you think they're
That
going to get
guy
the 8?
needs to go away.
Do you think they're going to get the 8
So,
Democrats?
and here's the thing. So do I think they're gonna get the 8? If
Mhm.
they don't, they're gonna come very close to it because Democrats
Mhm.
fold just like cheap suits. If they ever stood up, listen, now is the time to stand up. And so they've been polling some Democrats who say they may vote for it. This should be without question. No, we're not going to go along. You're cutting Medicaid. You're cutting Medicare. You're cutting Social Security. If you're going to do that, you got to do it by Jasmine Crockett said, do it yourself. I'm not doing that. That's crazy. But Democrats, like I said, they continue to prove as a body how weak they really are, how much that it's about their own survival at this point.
Right, right.
They ain't got your back.
And I believe a lot of these white politicians, they have higher political ambitions. And so for them to be in the middle or to be that lone wolf that sides with Republicans, they're thinking that it's going to garner them more supporters. I feel like that's why our governor in California, Gavin Newsom, had that podcast with that MAGA individual because he wants to be able to go to Middle America, because the polls are saying that he'll do well in progressive states, Gavin Newsom, but that Middle America, he has to do a lot of work in. And so the perfect way is to be able to engage those conversations. Going back to what Van was saying, Gavin Newsom is taking that play and he's running it. You know, that's why he's having these conversations with people from Middle America so that he can be more appealing when it's time to run. But it's at a detriment for the party or the people or the Black folks that support him. It's at our detriment.
And they live in and represent, a lot of them, and we talked about this with the CBC, represents mostly white districts, but still, you got to hold the line. Listen, Mitch McConnell, hate him or not, hate him or love him, nobody really loves Mitch McConnell, got it done whether he was in the minority or the majority. He got his people together and got it done for the Republicans. Got it done. Chuck Schumer, he needs to step. Chuck Schumer, it's time to go. It's time to go. You can't
Nancy
hold
Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi, it's
go.
time to go.
Yeah, but Chuck Schumer is the minority leader in the Senate. If you can't hold down the fort, if you allow, Fetterman is a Republican for real. He's not a Democrat. So okay, I'll give Schumer that. You can't. There's nothing you can do about that. But what about the other 7 or 8 that these Republicans need to come on their side?
Those two right there, they need to go, because to the other side, when you go to the House, you know, word on the street is that Nancy is still pulling the strings, and that she's undermining Hakeem Jeffries because she's still trying to exercise her power. Both of them need to go. Both of them.
Yeah. Listen,
it's time for a lot of these lawmakers to pass the baton. Some of these Black lawmakers too. It's time to pass the baton. You should be, back in the day, you know, you had mentees. You know, the mentees carried your purse, they carried the briefcase, you know, they followed you, you groomed them. So then you pass the baton so that the work keeps going. But a lot of these older lawmakers, white, Black, and all in between, once they don't want to let the power go. And it's at a detriment to us.
But at this stage of the game, how much power do you really have? It's not really. So it becomes, a lot of times, for many of them, not all of them, this is all about both power and money, right?
Right.
You don't have the power anymore, so it's all about the money now. It's about that federal paycheck, that federal pension, that federal health care. It's got to be, and all the little monies you guys get under the table.
Right. So, I mean, you hear stories all the time. You read stories all the time about Nancy Pelosi shifting stocks to the left and to the right, to the right, to the left. They have all the intel from the government. They know what's going on, and they have the power and they have the money, and they're shifting it all around. They don't want to let it go.
Yeah,
but it's a detriment to the American people.
And Mike V saying there's only so many biggie bars you can spit before it's no longer effective. And you know that's got to be directed at Hakeem. And so it makes you wonder, look, are you compromised? We know Clyburn is another one that we're showing there, and somebody mentioned there, RNG. He says bye, Jim Clyburn.
That's the kingmaker. He's the kingmaker.
Yeah, it's like we should treat him like this, the way remember when Prince changed his name to that symbol? He was the artist formerly known. Well, we should say Clyburn is the artist formerly known as the Kingmaker.
Yeah, but I'm looking at
kings anymore.
I'm looking at this picture right here, and I'm just like, Joe Biden should have forgave all the student loans, because look at where we're at now. All this decorum and doing this, he should have.
Well, he did. He tried. I will say that we can't hold that against the
Donald
Supreme
Trump would
Court.
have did it. Donald Trump would have did
Oh
it.
yeah, well, because it's Donald Trump. The Supreme Court went
He would have
against
did
Biden.
it.
hmm Supreme Court went against them. I mean, I can't fault Biden for that. I mean, he went for it and
I
they
do.
said no. And so Greer says, do we have the same smoke for Auntie Maxine? I think, you know what? I think it's time for her to have that major going away party where
Ooh.
everybody celebrates her. Everybody, it's one of those specials that they have on either BET or well something remotely close to black owned, and they bring up on stage. They have performers. They have people come up and fed her and praise her, and they have singers. People come in and sing. Stevie Wonder sing. Everybody sing and just say thank you for your service.
I hear what you're saying, and there's a lot of conversation in California, in the Los Angeles area, about who is she going to pass the baton to. It's time for her to pass the baton. But you always have those people that you feel like. Maxine Waters gave me my first television experience on C-SPAN. And so she's all so you have these this love for certain
Oh
individuals
yeah.
that but I mean I totally hear you, and that's a huge conversation that people are having, like, who is she passing the baton to? Who is
Mhm.
she grooming? Who is she teaching how to step into her position and do what she did for a long time? Because of Jim, Maxine, all of those people did great jobs while they were in office in their heyday. In their
And
heyday.
in their heyday, yeah. And Mike V says Maxine does put in the work, though. She's not sabotaging anyone, to his understanding, and to my understanding, either she's not sabotaging anyone. But now there's this about Jim Clyburn that a lot of people believe this. What Orange is writing, that he sold out. Look what he did for gerrymandering. We all know that story. We did that story a couple of years ago. He made a deal with the Republicans down in South Carolina, and it does not look good. It didn't look good. And it became a situation where essentially he's the only black person that could be elected down in South Carolina with the deal he made.
Wow.
So
So I
you
think
know,
this goes back. I think this goes back to a bigger conversation about how Congress is structured. It's structured on a tenured situation, right? You serve your time, you're in there. That's how you become ranking members. And so is it time to get rid of the tenure process, and it to where if you're qualified and you can, then you could be a ranking member. You don't have to wait 10, 15, 20 years before you're able to get these committees and these positions. Is it time to get rid of the tenure deal?
hey, it is. Listen, let's face it. It should be term limits anyway on all these folks.
Mm.
Um, it really should. I mean, it's you work 1 year, you run the next year. You work 1 year, you run the next year. It's cut it out, knock it off, as y'all say. It's enough. This whole system has failed. Just come to that realization and understand that it's failed. That's the bottom line. Um, more rallies are planned for today. Um, in at least two major cities as protesters continue to demand the release of Palestinian activist Mahmoud Khalil, whose arrest President Trump said is the first of many. For those who may not know, Khalil is a Columbia graduate. He was arrested over the weekend at his apartment by federal immigration agents who told him that his student visa was being revoked. And that was because of the protest. Now he's being held at an immigration detention facility in Louisiana, and a detention hearing is scheduled for today. But Khalil won't be present. His legal team said that he's not going to attend. And then Trump goes on social media to say that arrest was the first of many to come. And Marco Rubio, little Marco, says that the administration would revoke the visas and green cards of, quote, Hamas supporters in America so they can be deported. It's look at the road they're going down.
I mean, but To support the Palestinian people, that means that you support Hamas. That's bull.
Right.
That's bull.
Right. Right. Exactly.
So if so it's like you can support the Israeli people, but that doesn't mean you support Netanyahu.
Right. Exactly. And by the way, just as a slight correction, the forward facing the forward facing history school is 6 through 12, grade 6 through 12, I should say,
Okay.
middle and high school.
Okay. They still like streamers too.
They still like streamers.
Mhm. They love that
I just
Kai
want
Sanat. That Kai Sanat. Who else?
uh,
Talil, Punga, Rakai. Yeah, I know they love them all.
they love them all.
Auntie watches them. Auntie watches them. They crack me up.
Oh gosh. By not revoking, no, but no revoking must green card for being and supporting Nazis, right? And speaking of which, thank you, David. Um, we saw the rollout at the White House. White House is now a showroom for Teslas.
Yeah.
I mean, this is as corrupt. This is like I'm being corrupt in your face. How is this even possible?
It's country. It's ghetto. It's so ghetto. That was so
That is
ghetto
ghetto.
yesterday.
Well, he says it's going to continue, though. Trump
And
says it's going to continue.
And I hope that they continue to protest Tesla. I hope that they continue to flee and tweet away from X. I hope that his empire continues to dwindle. I hope he loses $1 billion a day.
Mm.
When I got here at the airport, a Tesla came and picked me up. I almost wanted to cancel it. Send me another car.
Send another car. He's also planning to sign an executive order that makes anyone attacking a Tesla car, a Tesla vehicle, or a Tesla plant, or wherever they sell them, what do you call those, dealership? It makes it a act of domestic terrorism, and folks will be charged as a terrorist if they attack a Tesla property. So Donald Trump is doing everything to protect his benefactor. As long as we've been going to the White House, and folks have been going longer than me, but I have never considered that they would ever do something like this. That line, first and foremost, that driveway, that gate rarely opens, that where the cars come into the front. It's extremely rare. Even the president don't even use that gate. It has to be a special occasion. Right on Pennsylvania Avenue, I'm talking about. They usually going the other way, but Tesla's, he had them parade right through there, right past Secret Service, and past the briefing room, and right up to the very front door of the White House, and line up there. And then Trump gets in the car, and he says he can't drive. They told him he can't drive, but he'll have his staff drive now. He'll keep those cars there and make them available for his staff.
Coming up next, the Beast. The Beast is.
Oh yeah,
the Beast is going to be a Tesla pretty soon.
Oh yeah, and Air Force One will be something. And listen, go right ahead, because Air Force One will be something made by Musk as well, and we know the results. We know the results since January 20th about aircrafts in Elon Musk's airspace. So you go ahead and that's the real mess around and find out type thing right there.
I mean,
So,
you see that happening at the White House, a new car show by Tesla. The worst thing Barack Obama ever did was wear a tan suit. A tan suit. But yet this man can have a car lot and Look at this.
I guess Tesla didn't receive a good welcoming in New Orleans. Orange G says they threw everything at those Tesla vehicles during Mardi Gras. He says those ugly cars left the parade route. And yeah, Mike V, that's the problem. The beast will be a Cybertruck. You know that they're going to turn that beast into a Cybertruck eventually. And David says that Tesla might be done, except in China. It is now a hated brand throughout Europe and America. Republicans don't like electric vehicles. That is interesting. Well, hey, so that's what's happening even as we speak. He is going all in for his buddy Elon. As somebody that I know said, doesn't Elon seem like he's missing his helmet every day? Where's his helmet? Oh my gosh. Terrible. Terrible
It's
stuff.
amazing the stuff that white folks get away with. You know, when is it going to change? And maybe this is supposed to happen. Like, let it all fall down. Burn it, let it go. Just let it crumble. Let's start anew. Let's start afresh.
So Barrington always said, let it burn. Let it burn. But you know, when you say white folks, one of the things that always struck me, you watch movies, James Bond or whomever, white folks can indeed get away with a lot, and they can blend in better in different places. You ever think about that?
What do you mean by blend in better? What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, you go to Switzerland, or France, for instance, until a person speaks, you don't know that they're French. They could, you send a group of white folks to France, until they open their mouth, you don't know that they're not French.
So does that apply for us when we go to Africa?
That's a good question. But I think there's a difference. Maybe people can't pick out the differences. I don't know. But when I watch these espionage movies, it's like, okay, he was only able to get away with that because he's white, and folks didn't suspect. Because even like, you ever watch Mission Impossible?
No, I'm not.
The old Mr. Not Tom Cruise. I'm talking the TV series. So the black guy was always doing the behind the scenes work. He was never the guy who was out front with the rest of them, and they would go to different countries and do and pull off their missions. Yeah, I think there's something to be said about that. Look, I'm getting more and more into my conspiracy bag here.
Right, because now I'm trying to think of, if I went to Africa, what country would I be from? And I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you, and I'm like,
Yeah, what are you looking at?
Where you be from?
What are you? Ghana.
You'd be from Ghana?
Probably, right?
Ghana, maybe.
You'd be more on the Egyptian side.
Sierra Leone, maybe.
I don't know. That's interesting.
Yeah, like where would I be from if where would I be?
See, I said you'd be more on the Egyptian side.
Oh. Egyptian. I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
Or maybe Ethiopia. What about Ethiopia?
Maybe Ethiopia. Yeah. Maybe Ethiopia. Yeah, that might work. Man, I had some. David says Liberia for you.
Liberian girl. I like it. Okay, little Michael Jackson.
Uh-oh. Some good food is some authentic Ethiopian food. That's some real good food.
I just don't like the communal eating.
Oh, I don't do that.
I don't like the communal eating, and I don't like
it. He said, careful, Neil, those folks might come for you. Mike B says that.
Only I can cancel me.
Right.
No one can ever cancel me.
Mm-hmm.
Only I can cancel me.
Right.
No one can ever cancel me. Only I can cancel me.
Right.
I do not agree with anything Amber Rose says or does. Nothing that girl does.
Yeah.
That child, keep her
She's
over
a
there with the Republicans.
yeah, and I mean she's a
With the MAGAs,
1000%
rather. She's
fraud.
really with the MAGAs too. She's with the
Yeah,
MAGAs.
she's a fraud. She's a fraud. She's trying to rebrand herself and make herself relevant, other than what she was already known for as a piece of trash that she is. So
Yeah.
whatever.
Tell her to keep it up. I'm gonna have Jocelyn Hernandez come for her again.
There you
Okay?
go. Mike V said, "Come on, son." Uh-oh. Here's a story that is I'm sure Greer is really upset about. And then maybe not, because they're going to start with the classes there too. The class system at the Southwest Airlines is what's interesting about that, Niel. So the CEO, the previous CEO said that they would never, ever drop their free check bags at Southwest. He said it would be a big mistake. And so they fired him, and now what they've done. No more free bags. No more free bags on Southwest Airlines. What's the point of flying Southwest now?
You can change your flight with
I
no
could do that with
cost.
Delta and American.
Oh, you still can? Okay, I thought that they
Yeah.
stopped after a certain time. Okay, well.
Yeah, I could still do that. Listen, I'm not in a rush to fly nowadays. I'm trying to see what might shake out. If there's gonna be
I was
a regime change or something.
I was a little nervous at first, but once you get in the air, it's like, okay, smooth sailing. But when I started coming closer to here, I was like, Lord, be a fence.
Right. DC. Listen, I need to sit as close to the pilot as possible nowadays if I go up there. Because I need to hear everything. Make sure air traffic control is responding, making sure that there's direct communication. Like, wait a minute.
And it's
Otherwise,
it's such an interesting thing. When you get on the flights and you see your black flight attendants, and it's just a look and a smile that you give each other, and it's like, okay, we in here, you see me, I see you.
I'm in seat 3C, so make sure you understand.
Right.
Anything go down, I'm the first to, you let me know. Yeah, exactly. Shoot. So later this morning, folks, join us at 10 a.m. We got a very, very special interview with Floj. She's gonna drop in on us. Yeah, it's at a different time. It's at 10 a.m. We're gonna be talking about this program that she is very much a part of with Experian, where they are forgiven $5 million in debt, plus $100,000 for each win in the NCAA tournament that Louisiana LSU wins. So it's a really good program. It's more than just um, uh, about the 5 million. It's a lot about the 5 million actually, but it's more to it than just that. But Floj wants to talk a little financial literacy as well. And I
Yep.
know Niel wants to talk some WNBA and stuff like that with her as well. So,
WNBA, March Madness, and of course, we want to talk about her rap career. She dropped her album last year, "The Best of Both Worlds." She was excited to work with Lil Wayne, so we want to see who she wants to work with next and who she's picking for March Madness. All her
right.
homegirls are playing. Her homegirls and her foes are playing. So we want to know who she's looking at, who she thinks has it besides LSU.
Yeah, yeah, nice. RNG says a 29-year-old Hashim Walters from New Orleans has officially launched the Latimer Group, which is an ownership consortium focused on acquiring Spirit Airlines. Wow, speaking of Spirit, listen, it's still a long way off before I would even ever consider Spirit.
Okay, but you know what Spirit's tag is? We've never had a plane crash.
Uh-oh.
That's what they started with. We have never
Yeah.
had a plane crash. Okay, we're the safest. Spirit is told them they're the safest in the air. Okay.
Shoot.
Give them
All
their
the other stuff.
give
I
them
guess
their
you gotta give.
flowers.
I guess you gotta give them their props on that. I guess you're right. I guess you're right. So you guys who fly Spirit, hey, it seems like you're in safe hands. So, speaking of crash, Greer says the Oracle of Omaha just sold $981 million worth of Bank of America shares, and he's dumping stocks like never before, including Apple. Are we preparing for a crash? I think we are.
Well, we're talking about Warren Buffett, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think we are. I think there's no question. The crash is coming quickly. When you see Neil, folks like Buffett and when they start doing this stuff, it's coming.
Right.
They know something.
Follow the money. That's what
Follow.
Maxine Waters always says. Follow the money.
Yeah, that crash is definitely coming. And Trump has said, remember he it needs to reset. He said, I've never heard of anybody saying when something is really good, oh, it needs to go bad and reset it. The stocks was doing great until he got sworn in. So here we are. Anyway, let's do some Black history before we cut out.
I'm going to let's see. I'll start it off since it's Women's History Month. I have one for the day.
You got one?
Dorothy Heights, the beloved Dorothy Heights.
Yes.
She ran National Council of Negro Women. I love that photo of her when she's sitting in the White House with Lyndon B. Johnson, giving him her thoughts. Love that picture. Well, she was born today in 1912. And it is because of her. What I love about it is that she is argumentably one of the big six. When we always talk about the big six, we think of the men, the NAACP, the Urban League, SCLC, SNCC, and the Pullman's Porter. But people argue that it should have been the big seven, and Dorothy Heights should have been a part of that because she was very instrumental in the civil rights movement, especially in the March on Washington. But at the time, of course, women took the back seat or they took the side seat.
Mm-hmm.
And so we give Dorothy Heights her flowers today.
Absolutely. Dorothy Height.
There's
Wow.
look at that. I love that photo. Love it.
Well, on this date in 1773, a Black explorer by the name of Jean-Baptiste Point de Sable begins building. He began building the settlement, which would eventually become the city of Chicago, Illinois. The Haitian-born man would, over time, become a man of considerable wealth, owning commercial buildings, docks, trading posts, and a mansion. He was the product of a French man and an African woman. He died on August 19th, 1818.
Okay, I'm going to stick with the birthday. So there's another birthday happening today. Civil rights leader Andrew Young was born on this date in 1932.
Wow, the former mayor, the U.S. ambassador. Wow, got a chance to talk with him, go down there in Georgia and sit and talk with him last year. It was fun. It was
And
lots of
he's
fun.
also, isn't he also a member of the Greenwood Bank? Is it the banking with Killer Mike? Remember they
Is
took
he?
over? Yeah, they started an online banking. It was him and Killer Mike. And so yeah, he was trying to build. Well, he's advocating to build financial literacy and equity and promoting us to bank Black.
He is also, according to Orange, a member of Alpha Phi Alpha. He and his brother. His brother is a or was a dentist. They have been working on their memoirs actually. So
Nice.
be interesting to see what comes of that. And on this date in 1791, Benjamin Banneker and Pierre Charles L'Enfant commissioned to lay out the District of Columbia. So look, another a black man had the hand. We talked about Chicago and now DC. These are cities that are basically they were created by black folk.
And the white folks don't want us to know.
There you go. There you go. We got more. On this date, 1945, New York was the first state to establish a Fair Employment Practices Commission. Isn't that something? So history. We got more. You got something else, Neil?
On this date in 1955, the death of Charlie Parker, one of the founders of the modern jazz movement in New York City. And on this date in 1964, Malcolm X resigned from the Nation of Islam.
Wow. Lots happening on this date. Got a couple more. Charles Fuller in
Before we
1982
move
on this
forward,
date.
before we move forward, let's just say peace and love and assalamu alaikum to all of our Muslim brothers and sisters celebrating Ramadan. Just had to get that in there.
She
Peace
had to
and
get
love,
that in. and also along with that, certainly peace to the family of Malcolm X. And on this date in 1982, Charles Fuller won the Pulitzer Prize for a soldier's play. I never saw that.
I've never heard of it. What is it about?
That's a good question. It was about, from what I understood, it's about a black person. It's almost like ragtime. It's from my understanding of a soldier's play. Ragtime was something else. Oh my gosh.
Well, we have a middle school listening. Give us a little bit about ragtime. What is ragtime?
Well, ragtime. I remember watching ragtime. Howard Rollins played the main character, and again, it was not necessarily slavery, but it was the way he was. They took apart his life, really. All the things that we see today, where they're trying to make black folks, especially black men, very, very powerless. They really made this guy just. They wanted him to capitulate. He would not capitulate to white supremacy, really, and he eventually was killed. There was a racist cop. In fact, I think Edward G. Robinson played the cop. I know he was in that movie. But he played the cop. It came out. It was around 1981. The movie Ragtime came
Is
out.
that Denzel? That's Denzel, right?
Who?
Denzel Washington in that picture. That's Denzel Washington in the picture.
It is Denzel Washington in that picture. You know what? Well, it really wasn't. So it featured not Edward G. Robinson, James Cagney. It had Jeff Daniels, Fran Drescher, Samuel Jackson was in
There he is.
there.
There he is.
Ethan Phillips, yeah, John Ratzenberger was in there as well. It was a 20th century, turn of the century type of movie. It was an upper class family in New Rochelle, New York, where the father owns a factory. His wife's younger brother makes fireworks. The baby was born in their garden. And upon learning the police intend to charge the mother with child abandonment and attempted murder, the mother takes the child into the home, into a home. And everything goes south from there. Look, watch the movie. It was really one of those things that was a tearjerker for sure.
Okay. Is that a soldier's play or ragtime?
That's ragtime.
Ragtime. Okay.
Yeah. And as far as a soldier's play, I never saw it, but I guess she has something there.
Oh, there it is. Ragtime.
No, that's ragtime. Yeah, that was man. It made you mad watching ragtime at the end there. so Soldier's Play, it really came down to being like this murder mystery. Like I said, it was around the war. Um, it explores like complicated feelings between black folks, anger, resentment, all the stuff that you would expect. Um, and so and that was Denzel Washington in The Soldier's Play.
Okay.
Not that's what I thought. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's whew. I'm not sure what that is. He says Bowser infiltrated the home of a Confederate leader, Jefferson Davis. Not sure. Yeah, A Soldier Story was another adaptation, but man, oh man, whew, those are some harsh stuff. And all that stuff fell just maybe 5 years after Roots aired for the first time.
Okay.
So, and it took you about 5 years to get over Roots. And then
Mm.
they hit you with Ragtime. And then right after Ragtime, they hit you with A Soldier Story.
Mm.
Hollywood know what they be doing. They know what they be doing. They try to get you riled up. Because those were some, ooh, man. But anyway, remember 10 o'clock, Flo J is gonna jump on. Looking forward to talking to Flo J. All right, so we got the glasses today, folks, the East Coast style. Neil, what are you expecting for this Black Press Week? What are you looking forward to, I should say?
Just fellowship, and maybe being re-energized and centered around Black folks who have a role to play.
Right.
Everybody can't protest, everybody can't be on the Hill, and to be in a space to where I can contribute as a journalist. And so, that's what I'm just looking forward to. I've never been to Howard University before, so
Oh,
I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah, and I love DC. When I got here, I was like, oh my God, I love this city.
okay. And so at Howard University tomorrow, Dr. Chavis is going to give the State of the Black Press address
Mm,
um, tomorrow. So that's it's going to be, as always, interesting stuff. And tonight, of course, is uh, Kitchen and Cocktails, Cocktails and Kitchens. How you say it?
the
we have,
Black-owned establishment. I love that we're sticking to, us. So it's a Black-owned establishment.
yep. And it is one of the best there is. The food is outstanding. And
The
there
libations are
is,
tasty. Don't forget about the libations.
yes, indeed. There's always that. And so drop by if you can, 6 o'clock, everybody, this evening in the nation's capital. It should be a really, we're expecting a lot of people to pop in, a lot of different folks from journalists to lawmakers to just who knows,
Lobbyists. Yeah,
lobbyists,
yeah.
everybody. I don't know, Austin coming? Did y'all invite Austin? So at Kitchen and
That's a
Cocktails,
great
6 o'clock.
question.
No, did I think we had to limit, certain
She
folks.
said she said, "I did." He did not RSVP.
Oh, of
That's
course not. He's too uppity for this. He's too uppity for it. Austin. I know David Youngblood is coming through. It's always good to see David. Seems like when we go to DC, when we convene in DC, I should say, because we're always in DC, David finds a way of coming over to say hello. We always appreciate that. Michelle does too. Michelle Madison has made her way to a few of the events as well. David says he'll be there to kiss the Austin ring. Wow. I knew Austin was MAGA. He's hiding it.
See, you don't want to be MAGA. MAGA is like the extreme. Now, if you say you're a Republican, we can agree to disagree. But when you say you're MAGA, that there's certain words that apply. You know,
Okay.
delusional,
Delusional.
unstable,
That's Austin. Go ahead.
racist,
Racist.
saltine.
So, oh, that's not Austin. David Greer says that David is on the list. Although you have not RSVP'd, David, you need to RSVP to Greer and Michelle if you're coming. Anybody who's coming should RSVP. So there you have it. He says how RNG says how my bank account is set up the swamp south of New Orleans as far as I can go. Well, you don't have a bank account. The last I checked, everything was under the mattress. Or maybe he's got like a, one of those accounts just for show. That's all, just for show. But yeah, be there tonight, 6:00, and we will be there. I think I'll be there. I've been trying to recover, folks. But don't forget at 10:00, Flo J is with us at 10:00. Thanks so much for watching. Let it be known.